Right, I said I'd compare Pullman crime statistics, but I'm going to, I mean specifically the universities. So WSU, Washington State University, and University of Idaho statistics. And I've been thinking actually that these statistics, it's interesting because, as I said before, some of the figures in the University of Idaho have not been included in Moscow's crime statistics, which is bizarre to me. But so that what you need to know is just how many people live in each of these towns and go to each of these universities first, so that you can kind of get an idea. And you also need to know that the national average in the USA for rape, it might be sexual assault, it might be rape. They probably just call it sexual assault now. It's 6 per 1,000, and there's over 9,000 students at Moscow campus, and apparently there weren't any rapes. And I know that's obviously possible, but it's also possible that they're not being reported. And so the MPD said none. University said 6, I think. We'll look at the figures to make sure I've got that right. But that's still way under what the national average is. But then if that's an average, some universities might have more than the average and some might have less, but it still seems like a low figure. So that was 2019. It says 1 in 5 college women are sexually assaulted, they refer to it as. And so it's now 1 in 6. I think it's 1 in 6 sexual assaults. As I said before, the categories are a bit outdated for Moscow Police Department as well. I've lost where I am now. Right. Okay, so let's refresh. In fact, I don't know I did show this in another video. So these are called Clery reports, and all universities have them, and they show statistics from, so this is a 2022 report, and it shows statistics from 2021. And they're quite long, so just bear with me while I find it. And the crime statistics are usually further on, but I wanted you to see. Right, here it is. Right, is that the first one? Because there's for different campuses. There's actually a campus at Coeur d'Alene, but it's a really small campus, and there's one somewhere else I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so this says, now I didn't look at the off campus actually. I'd only looked at on campus, so that makes it a bit different. So we're looking at 2021. I mean, we can compare as well, so that you can see that it's risen. The number of sex offence rape, it's put it in a specific category. That's risen. and apparently 0 in the other categories, which are a bit odd if you ask me, fondling. And then 6 in residence facilities. Now, I think that might be the same 6, because that could fall in the same category. It could be, might not be. And then non-campus, so off-campus in 2021, there were 4. Okay. I also want to look at, so murder, none for any of those years. But I also want to look at burglary. So I know that MPD reported about 60 burglaries in 2022 and more in 2021, 70 something. So on campus property, that's risen slightly. Well, it's kind of, yeah, well, it has risen. 1 in residence facilities, so maybe this is a different category, because to me the residence facilities are on the campus, so that's confusing. Perhaps that needs clarifying. Aggravated assault, there were 3 aggravated assaults off campus, and there was 1 burglary apparently each year off campus. And I'm wondering about car theft as well, motor vehicle theft. 2 in 2021 on campus, none off campus apparently. And this includes domestic violence, and MPD's report does not include domestic violence. That's shocking. 5 domestic violence, and that's on campus and in residence facilities, and apparently none off campus, probably not reported if there was. Dating violence, I mean, that's something that I don't know if it might not get reported. Stalking, which is not in the MPD categories, which is also shocking and very outdated. So you can, it's kind of gone up and down on campus, or in residence. I don't know, as I said, I don't know the difference there. But apparently no stalking off campus in 2021, apparently. Okay, right, now let's look. Oh, I was going to show you that how many. So the Washington State, that's how many students they had on their roll in 2016. So they must have over 30,000 now. So their Pullman is almost exclusively students. That's how many employees they have. It's, well, students and employees. They've got a hell of a lot of employees. And I don't know what year that was, but that's an awful lot. But now it's probably important to look at these figures, because as you can see, there are different campuses, but you can see that U of I is the biggest. Dual enrolment, and so people are going back and forth between U of I and, for example, Moscow and Boise, or something like that. Moscow and Coeur d'Alene or something, maybe. But yeah, so it's over 10,000, but nothing like as many as Washington and Moscow. Sorry, brain. Just did something, or didn't do something. Both are about 34,000 people living in Pullman and living in Moscow. I think there's a bit less in Moscow. There might be a bit more than 34,000 in Pullman, but they're similar. It's just that Washington's population is mainly students. There is, there's it says here there's 2,223 full-time employees. That's interesting because, well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. So compared with Washington with, 7,000, I don't know when this was, it could be 8,000 by now, employees. So 4 times the amount about, and nearly 4 times the amount of students as well. No, 3 times the amount. Maths fails me again. Right. Right. Now, let's look at what the statistics, the crime statistics for Washington. So, do you remember what they were? There was nothing in double figures, was there, basically? Everything was kind of 6 and under. So, again, it's a long report. So probably interesting or important maybe to note that information is gathered from campus security authorities, campus law enforcement, and information provided by other law enforcement agencies. I might check what Idaho says, if it says that as well. So, but it doesn't seem, it seems like it might be a one-way street though with Idaho though, because for some reason MPD are not including it in their figures. Okay, so no murders, no manslaughter, but rape has gone up quite dramatically. So we had none in double figures at all in for Moscow, sorry. But yeah, 2019, 12. Went down a bit, 2020, and probably because there weren't many students actually at university then. They still managed to be 7. But that's not, according, as I said, the national average. We saw what it was in 2019, and this is even below. So people aren't reporting. I mean, even with these statistics, it looks like people aren't reporting. So 2021, 2022 rapes. Okay. And then we have fondling episodes, assault, burglary has gone down, and that's the same for the general statistics for Pullman. But then again, I guess it would be. But there's a lot more burglaries in the general statistics, and there's not actually that much more people living there. Not many more people living there. Like their burglaries. No, sorry. No, I think I'm thinking of. They were high, their burglary statistics, and they went down to about 44. Sorry, I've been looking at so many different reports. I've been looking at a few different places, and I'm getting them confused. So, motor vehicle. Now look at stalking. It's actually gone down apparently. But there was 24 cases of stalking in 2019. Just make sure I'm getting the years right. Yeah, the right way around. 2020, 11. I'm just looking at burglary. 2020, 11. And 2021, 12 cases of stalking. And I've even seen on the Pullman police website reviews a mother complaining about the way Pullman handled her daughter being stalked. I'll see if I can find that. Domestic violence, dating violence, 10 incidents of dating violence. So it makes me wonder if MPD decided that this was a stalking thing for whatever reason. Maybe they got some footage from the local area, they saw a car and decided it was stalking, and just decided by looking at the crime that they thought that it was a crime of, if it was, when they call it a crime of passion, maybe they mean there was something that implied a sexual element to it. I did see Cluminati, her video today, and she said, she commented on the fact that in the PCA, Brett Payne states that they had visible stab wounds, and I guess they could have had just the, she was wondering whether they might have been naked, which, you know, they could have been. And if that's how you could say, was the blanket not on them, because supposedly they were in there, you know, they were sleeping, and we know there was a little bit of a fight, and also the fact that Steve Gonsalves said there was a sadistic element to it, and I just wonder if it was that they're gone down this route because maybe they weren't wearing clothes. I don't know, because there's apparently no sexual assault, but how are we supposed to believe anything when so many facts have changed? That they were asleep in their beds and then they're not asleep in their beds, and just numerous other facts. That it was a targeted attack that's not a targeted attack. That it was between 3 and 4, but then now it's 4 o'clock. That originally they were looking for a Nissan Sentra, which I've seen in news articles, and I've seen in something that you will see in a future video. And then they're looking for, to be fair, I don't think they put that out to the public, but then they changed the year of the car as well. So how are we supposed to trust that there wasn't a sexual assault? Because if the police were trying to find a witness, they would look for a credible witness. And if a witness had told them untruths, had told them lies, basically, then they would not use that witness. How are we supposed to use them as witnesses when they've changed things so many times? Alcohol law violations, 307. Drug abuse violations, 101. So this, hold on. This is on-campus property. What's the difference? I thought that one said on-campus property. On-campus residences. So this is like not in the halls. We in the UK we call them halls of residence. I don't know what you call them. So I'm going to call them halls just because I don't know what else to refer to them as. So not in the halls where people are living, but on campus property. So 22 rapes basically around the campus. But then we also have 20 rapes subset of on-campus property. I know it's a subset, it's within that. So there were 2 rapes somewhere else, not in residence. Right, okay. So this is a subset. So 3 stalkings within the residence. That's kind of hard to stalk. Well, I suppose it can be. Now let's look at this one. Off campus, 9 rapes. They might be more likely to be reported to the actual police rather than campus police. And stalking, where's that? 0 stalking. So that just looks like... And the thing is, I think Pullman Police do have that category, because I've seen their crime statistics, because this is just for the university. In fact, let's have a look at that now. So as you can see, Pullman Police Department do not have a 2022 annual report as of yet. As yet. So we're looking at the 2021, and you can see they're not like these huge Clery reports. They're shorter reports, but it's a little bit annoying that they don't put the most recent year next to the category title. So I'm pretty sure there's no murders at all. Oh no, we have one in 2015. Well, they had... Oh, sorry, no, there was one in 2021. So there was a murder in 2021. Forcible sex offences. Now, we didn't see that as a category before, did we? It said something similar. Sexual assault, rape, I think it said. So we can see that it's not, it's kind of gone up and down, but 20 forcible sex offences, and we don't know if those are the same, and you would think they probably are, as the university. However, there were 22 with the university, so there's 2 missing off here. Assault and intimidation, 162. I can't remember what it was for that. Burglary, 44. So look how much it's gone down. It's sort of gone up in the middle and then down, down, down. Larceny, 194. Moscow's like 363 or something. Right, motor vehicle theft. We probably don't need to look at all of these. But yeah, you can see there was there any on? I think there was about 1 or something on the college one. But it's kind of strange, because maybe it's only students that are included in those statistics. Would you think that the staff would be included? Because there's not that many more people living. Well, there must be. I suppose there must be some, because Inan lived in Pullman, didn't he? But there's 30,000. I suppose there's about 4,000 more people, or maybe a bit more than that now. About 5,000 more people than. But no, because that would be taken up by, because students is 30,000. There's 8,000 staff, but maybe staff don't actually live in Pullman, I suppose. Okay, right. Vandalism. There's some categories that we haven't seen in the other. Pornography. I'm confused by that one. Shouldn't it say like maybe it just puts it all in one category. Like I would have thought it would be like sexual images of minors rather than pornography, because well, I know that pornography has become an offence to have on phones in some states, Utah being one of them, and I think Idaho might have joined But I'd be surprised if Washington was, to be honest, given it's looser with drug laws. I would have thought it would also be looser with this, but what do I know? Right. There were 4 cases of animal cruelty in 2021. So, yeah. But, yeah, so I do wonder if they were looking at Pullman straight away because they knew there had been some stalking. And I wonder if that figure that we have here, how many was it? I've lost where it is now. I'm wondering, that's off campus, but on campus, 12 incidents from 2021. I wonder if that's increased significantly and there was a concern about stalking. So they maybe were looking at WSU specifically because they hadn't, as far as we know, tracked the car to begin with because they had only got so much footage. So I wonder if they've already started out with a theory and that's the direction they've gone in. They decided it was stalking, targeted attack, and I don't know if that is just because they knew there were stalking incidents there, or if there was more to it than that. So, yeah, so I do wonder if these figures, it'd be interesting to see what 2022's are, and it's not very good, really, that they're not out yet. I wonder if there's a way to get hold of them. I might try and get hold of them and see. So, yeah, that's it for now. I just thought I'd show you the difference because at the end of the day, there's the same number of people living in both places, although there are more students here in Washington, in Pullman, a lot more. And yet, despite there being very similar number of overall residents, there's exponentially more sexual assaults and more stalking. And this is only in 2021, so we don't know what's the case now, but there's more in Pullman, so that might be, as I say, what drew the gaze of Moscow Police Department in that direction in the first place. So they may have had a theory and then they look for evidence to support the theory, perhaps. But, I mean, did they actually get evidence to support it? Or did they already have some? I don't know. I'm just saying what could have been the case given these figures, although that said, we don't know what 22s are like. Oh, I was also going to find that lady's review. I'll see if I can find that now. Okay, so you can see that they don't appear to be very popular. 2.2 stars. Reviews, there we go. Okay. I'm going to try and find, I think it's this person. Yeah. So Tanisha McNeil. So this is the mother of a daughter who was being stalked. And this says a year ago, but this said, when I first saw this said a year ago, and that was quite a few months ago. And I remember thinking at the time that it would have been, I think I saw it in July. So it would, but then again, how long has it said a year ago? Because it still says a year ago now. I think it was July. I don't know. So, no, I think it was from the previous school year. So it must have been earlier than July. Maybe it was in June. Because I remember thinking he wasn't at the university when this was reported. But obviously it's that they could have more than one stalker anyway. But so this is what Tanisha McNeil says. If I could, I would give them 0 stars. My daughter goes to WSU. I called to inquire about my daughter's case that has been going on since January. So it was last year. Officer Weingard was very rude. My daughter has been stalked and harassed. Her apartment has been burglarised twice. Her car was vandalised. He informed me that there's nothing they can do. He kept asking me what I want him to do about it. He was very sarcastic. I will be getting a lawyer. I think I'm going to put this out because people don't always watch to the end of videos. So I think I'll put this out on its own because I think it would be good. I think I might have already put it out before, but at the time I didn't have as many subscribers. So hopefully more people will learn about this because I think this is quite important. I mean, as I say, there can be more than one stalker on a campus. However, it does look like there was a stalker who also burgled, and that was last school year. I mean, it's not like it completely refutes any involvement of Brian Koberger, but it's interesting nonetheless. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, and I have got other videos I need to put out because some other stuff that I came across today that's quite interesting went down a giant rabbit hole. So I'm going to put out my rabbit hole and that sounds wrong. Dear me. I'm going to leave that in. Oh dear. Got the giggles now. And I think I'm just going to put it. I made lots of short videos every time I was finding more information. I think I just might put it out as is virtually, just put them all together. So that might be coming to you today or tomorrow. And there will also be a couple of other videos that are coming out this evening, 2 short ones. One that has some videos that I haven't, because I keep getting copyright. Well, I don't even know what happens when I get copyright, because I'm not monetized, so I don't know if it would affect me in the future if I decided to go down that route, but I don't know what it does, or if I'm just like collecting them and then eventually they're just going to kick me. But so to avoid getting yet another copyright, I'd like it if somebody put a clip of my video on there, like Bubbly Waters did. Hi, Bubbly Waters. I don't. It's advertising. At the end of the day, it literally is advertising. It's more people know about you. You know, even if you talk about another channel. But anyway. Anyway, what was I going to say? yeah, so this one, K-bar knives. I'm going to put the videos that I found with people testing K-bar knives. Some of them were from like knife companies. Some of the videos are quite amusing, actually. And so that's quite interesting because I watched Cluminati's interesting video from today, which you may have already seen, and she talks about the K-bar knife and some, I don't know, it was some military guy, I think, was quoted as saying that they were not very effective as fighting knives, which they actually are supposed to be fighting knives, but it depends because there's an updated version. But you will see when they test the knife. I won't go on about it because you may as well not bother watching the videos then. Anyway, the other thing is, yes, there's another video as well, and it's some guy who who made a post on, I'm confused really. I think the post is on somebody else's channel, but can people post on the community? I suppose you can, can't you? That somebody must have posted on the community of this channel. I can't remember what the channel was called. Or actually it's an email from the guy, and I think it was posted by the channel. He received this email and it's quite intriguing. That's, yes, like about 5-minute video. That's interesting. I thought I'd read it out because it's quite intriguing. Anyway, leave it there. If there's anybody still left, I will, if I'm not just talking to myself now, I will speak to you soon.